Hello and welcome to another complete OCR GCSE PE lesson, where you'll learn absolutely everything you need to know on topic 3.3, ethical and socio-cultural issues in physical activity and sport. As always, we'll be following the OCR syllabus exactly and we'll cover absolutely everything you need to know for your final exam. For topic 3.3, you need to know about ethics in sport, including the terms sponsorship, gamesmanship and deviance, performance-enhancing drugs, including their impact and why performers use them, and the reasons for violence in sport. Before we begin, I'd really appreciate it if you take a moment to click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to be notified when the next topic is uploaded. Being ethical in sport is to play by the rules and to show high moral standards through one's actions. Three terms that relate to ethics in sport are sportsmanship, gamesmanship, and deviance. Sportsmanship is behaviour that demonstrates fair play, appropriate levels of etiquette, and respect for one's opponents, whether winning or losing. Examples of good sportsmanship in sport include shaking hands with an opponent after a game, helping an opponent to their feet when penalised, showing concern for or offering assistance to an injured player, accepting an official's decisions regardless of whether you agree with them or not, celebrating modestly, taking the feelings of your opponents into account, walking from the field of play in cricket when you know your bat made contact with the ball prior to being caught, applauding the efforts of an opponent, and kicking the ball out of play so that an opponent can receive treatment. By comparison, gamesmanship is the use of unethical, although often not illegal methods to win or gain an advantage over one's opponents. Gamesmanship can be viewed as a subtle bending of the rules and often involves behaviours that tread the line between legal play and cheating. Examples of gamesmanship in sport include diving in football to gain a free kick or penalty, exaggerating an injury to get an opponent booked or sent off, impeding an opponent's stick in hockey, grunting excessively when striking the ball in tennis, refusing a handshake, wasting time when in a winning position, delaying a penalty pass in netball, purposefully making contact with an opponent during cycling or running events, and sledging in cricket, whereby fielders make comments to disrupt the batsman's focus. Finally, deviance is behaviour that goes against a society's norms and values and is often illegal, either in terms of the rules of a sport or society in general. Examples of deviance include the use of performance-enhancing drugs, acts of violence, for example fighting an opponent during a rugby match, deliberately punching below the belt in boxing, hooliganism in football, tampering with the ball to generate swing in cricket, and match fixing, for example losing on purpose to make money through betting. Okay, so that's everything you need to know about ethics in sport. So we'll move on now to section 2 on performance-enhancing drugs or PEDs, which are substances that change the chemical balance of the body when taken, affecting the performer's ability and providing an unfair advantage when competing. There are a number of reasons why some athletes decide to use PEDs, including to be the best regardless of morality, to achieve a goal like winning an Olympic medal when natural ability isn't enough, being influenced by a coach, teammate or training partner, to keep up with other athletes already using PEDs, to recover quickly after training or competition, to mask pain from injury or during a physically demanding event, to calm themselves down or heighten focus, or to achieve success in the form of prize money, trophies, new contracts or sponsorship deals. Next, you need to know about 3 commonly used classes of performance-enhancing drugs, including their physiological effects and examples of sports in which performance may benefit. Anabolic steroids speed up the rate at which muscle fibers repair themselves after exercise. This not only allows athletes to recover faster and train harder for longer, but also allows them to gain muscle mass more quickly, leading to improvements in power and strength. Anabolics may therefore be used by rugby players, sprinters or weightlifters who rely on these fitness components, while endurance athletes including cyclists may also benefit, as faster recovery times mean that higher intensities can be maintained throughout multi-stage events like the Tour de France. Beta blockers inhibit the hormone adrenaline, which lowers heart rate and has a calming and relaxing effect on the body. Beta blockers are therefore used by athletes like archers, divers and snooker players who rely on accuracy and use fine motor skills. Stimulants, for example cocaine, affect the nervous system, reducing pain and increasing both mental and physical alertness. As a result, stimulants are used by a wide range of performers, including middle distance runners who must endure huge physical discomfort as they push their bodies to the limit, and games players who need to be focused and alert if they're to make quick and effective decisions. Next, you need to know about the impact of drug use in sport from the perspective of the performers and the sport itself. Perhaps the most obvious downside is the risk to the health of the user. Performance-enhancing drugs often come with serious side effects, including high blood pressure, liver damage, hormonal imbalances, and heart failure. Drugs that mask pain, like stimulants, may cause athletes to play on with an injury, which could make the problem worse or even cause permanent damage. Addiction is another common problem, and those trying to stop using may experience physical withdrawal symptoms. Testing positive for a banned substance may result in the loss of sponsorship, voided contracts, a ruined public image, financial penalties, and being stripped of medals and trophies. Lengthy bans are also imposed, which in some cases could be career-ending. In terms of the sport itself, drug scandals can damage the reputation of a sport or event, which could lead to a loss of funding through sponsorship and lower rates of interest and participation amongst the viewing public. Okay, so that's everything you need to know on performance-enhancing drugs. So we'll move on to the final section of topic 3.3, violence in sport. So violence is the intent to inflict harm outside the rules of the activity. For example, fighting during a rugby match is clearly an act of violence, while tackling with correct technique and with the motive of defending is not. There are several causes of violence in sport that you need to consider. Instinct theory posits that we have a natural urge to lash out in defense of ourselves or our territory. For example, a player may respond aggressively to having their shirt pulled in football. The next cause is frustration, which may build up throughout a game if things don't go your way or poor decisions are made by the referee. Players may act aggressively as a means of venting their frustration in such cases. The next cause is imitation, or copying the behaviours of a role model or peer group. If an influential figure displays violence, you may be more likely to do so yourself, as you may see it as an acceptable way to behave. Next, sometimes performers simply get angry, which could result from frustration, physical contact, or feeling as if decisions have gone against you unfairly. Anger causes adrenaline levels to rise and makes performers agitated and reactive. Finally, performance-enhancing drugs like anabolic steroids have been shown to increase aggression amongst users. Well done, you've just covered absolutely everything you need to know on topic 3.3, ethical and socio-cultural issues in physical activity and sport. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate your subscription, and I'll see you next time for topic 4.1, characteristics of skillful movement and the classification of skills.